I did 3 weeks of the hardest training ever. I have never suffered so much on the bike, but it transformed my cycling. I did 6 VO2 max workouts a week for 3 weeks straight. It was probably the hardest 3 weeks of training of my life, but it was definitely worth it. This is the last video of my high intensity training experiment. And in this video, I'll share with you guys what I've gained, what I've learned, and I'll also answer the questions that I've gotten from you. First, let's look at the gains. In order to track progress, I did a test set of 5 times 5 minutes all out on the first day of each week. In the first one, I did 368 watts. The second one was a bit worse. The third one was a bit better. But now I've done a final one on fresh legs once again in order to give a fair assessment. In this final test, I did 376 watts, so I gained 8 watts. On the face of it, it might not sound like a whole lot, but remember, I gained 8 watts in only 3 weeks of work. So in my opinion, I actually think that's quite a lot. The cool thing is that I see this improvement not only in the high end, but all the way from my zone 1 to my zone 5 and 6. This is not as easy to measure, but I can see that my heart rate is around 5 to 10 beats lower at the lower intensities. But this is not the only great thing that's come out of this experiment. Before doing these 3 weeks of crazy training, whenever I did high intensity work, I would usually feel completely destroyed afterwards. And also when I was racing and I would have to maybe chase up to a group or follow a group over a hill and ended up in the high zones, I would usually feel pretty much like shit afterwards. When I was about halfway in this experiment, I started to notice a big change in how I was feeling when I was done with the main set of the workout. I was no longer as destroyed as I used to be, and I could actually keep on pushing and even add some intensity if I felt like it. So for me, that's a crazy big improvement. It's something that I've been trying to work on for a long time, but I haven't managed to work it out until now. That was kind of amazing. I've always struggled with doing this high intensity training or VO2 max training, call it whatever you want. Whenever I've done them, I've always felt so destroyed afterwards and just wanting to go home as fast as possible. Never felt like doing something like today, that's for sure. So needless to say, I am super excited to test this out in a race. All in all, I feel like I've added 1 or 2 layers to my bike fitness in only 3 weeks of work. Besides that, I've gained lots of confidence and I just in general feel much stronger. Before I go on to answering questions, just a quick side note. If you're interested in maybe testing this out for yourself, I've made a little guide, a PDF thing, and I would like to send it to you. All you have to do is go to the description, find the link, or it will also be in the pinned comment. Sign up to my newsletter and I will send it to you right away. Alright, on to the questions. I've gotten lots of great ones. Lots of them are more or less the same, so I've boiled them all down to 4 questions. First one is if I tracked my resting heart rate and also if I was able to get my heart rate up later in the experiment as I got more fatigued. No, I did not track my resting heart rate. I used to, but I became a father last year, and with all the broken sleep and stuff, it felt like a bit of a waste of time to track resting heart rate and sleep and heart rate variabilities and all these things. But I was very much aware of how I was feeling during the workout. I always try to do the first interval, and if I feel like complete shit, I'll cut the workout short or just ride easy. I had maybe one workout I shouldn't have done, but otherwise I felt like I was ready after I was warmed up. Okay, 10 more done, and something almost magical happened. I'm actually starting to feel much better now. The second part of the question is if I was able to get my heart rate up as I got more fatigued, and the answer is yes, I was able to do so. Of course, it got a bit more tricky as I got more fatigued, but I feel like also in the last week that I was actually able to hit the heart rate zones that I wanted. The second question is if I did a VO2 max test to see if I got any better during this experiment. And no, I didn't. I did the test set, the 5 times 5 minutes. In my opinion, that would be fairly close to what I would be able to do in a 20-minute test. Of course, it would have been great to go to a lab and see all the numbers and stuff. That wasn't possible for me at this moment. So, in my opinion, this was the second best thing. The third question is if I did anything to speed up my recovery. I did a few things. First off, I started to take a protein shake right away when I got home after each workout. Usually when I go hard, I don't feel that hungry when I get home. And since I was also having a hard workout the day after, I thought it was important to get something as soon as possible. Also a great way to add some protein to my diet. Besides that, I took a scoop of creatine each morning. I'm not sure how much of an effect I was feeling, but might have felt a bit. There's some good research that suggests there should be a good effect anyways. So I thought that would be something worth trying as well. Besides that, I started to eat a bit more. After a few days in the first week, I actually started to feel a bit tired and a bit hungry when I got on the bike. So I started to eat a little snack in the evenings just to get a few more carbs and be a bit more ready for the next day. But besides that, I didn't do anything special. No massages, no cold therapy, nothing like that. The fourth question is how many TSS I did in each week. If you don't know, TSS is training stress score, so it's an indication of how hard your workouts have been. And here I have to look at my notes. So in average this year until I started this experiment, I had an average of 405 TSS in a normal training week. And in the first week I did 554 TSS. In the second week I did 637. In the third week I did 746 TSS. So a fair bit more than I'm used to. So to finish this off, I'll just share the biggest lesson I've learned from doing this experiment. I started this experiment because I wanted to test myself and also to see if I could find a new way to go about training. Like probably most of you, I'm taught by YouTube and podcasts and articles and so on that the right way to go about it is to do 2, maybe 3 intensity workouts a week and then just do lots of zone 2 training. That's how the pros do it after all. But I'm not so sure that's the right way to go about it. Not for me anyways. Pros have all day to train. I don't. So I think I have to be a bit smarter about how I spend my time on the bike. In this experiment, I learned that I can handle way more high intensity than I thought. I also learned that doing this high intensity work not only makes my high end better, but also my endurance. So going forward, I'll definitely do more high intensity training. I'm not sure how much. That's something I'll test along the way and adjust. But I'm sure that for someone like me without endless hours to train, that focusing mostly on zone 2 is not the kind of work that will get you as fit as you can get. As I learn more, of course, I will make videos about it. So make sure to subscribe so you'll get notified. And also, I will very much appreciate it if you will give this video a like, maybe even share it with your cycling buddy. Until the next one, see ya.